It is pretty much impossible to get everybody on planet Earth to agree to one thing. No matter what the topic is, someone will always argue it. Whether it's sports, TV shows, politics, you can name anything. Somebody will always have a different opinion than yours. But I think there is one thing that is the closest to getting humans to agree on one topic. Something we all unanimously hate together. And that thing is waking up in the morning. Now, some of you might hear this and go, well, I'm a morning person. And for the 5 of you, I'm gonna need to get rid of you for the sake of my analogy. You're telling me I have to wake up at 6 a.m.? For what? What could be worth waking up at 6 a.m. for? Unless Mr. Beast himself is not handing me $1 million waking up at 6 a.m., I don't wanna! Waking up early isn't really that bad. It's what you're waking up early for. If you have a family vacation plan and you're waking up early to catch that flight, that's not so bad. Actually, there's a good chance you didn't sleep the whole night because you're so excited. But if you have to drag your feet out of bed at 6 a.m. in the morning for something like school, that's where I draw the line. No matter what day, about some bullshit for 8 hours. The first part about waking up, and by far the worst part of it, is the waking up part. I'm sure we've all been there, where you stayed up a little bit longer than you should have on a school night, and now you have to function off of 4 hours of sleep. And when you try to get out of bed, it's like there's weights shackled to your feet that are physically holding you back from getting out of your bed. And when you finally find the willpower to break the shackles and get out of your bed, you lift your covers, and the first thing you feel is the cold AC. Now, I don't know about you guys, but the second I feel the cold air hit my ankles, I'm throwing that cover back on and going back to bed, is what I want to say. If I were to do that around the age of high school, I would get that ass whooped. Now that you're out of bed, you have probably the second most important step in the entire morning process, getting ready and finding a fit. Now, this step varies from person to person. For example, you have the people that don't really care about how they look. They show up in pajama pants with messy hair, and they usually stink. Sometimes, not all the times, but most of the times they do kind of smell like BO and everything bad. And then you have the people that overly dress for school. They walk in like every day is a fashion competition. They are dressed head to toe in designer and smell like they just walked out of a crumble cookie. And then you have the more normal people. You know, the same people that kind of re-wear the same 5 fits over and over again. That's kind of where I fall on the scale. But one thing I think most people should agree on is that you should not be stinking at school. I shouldn't walk past you and it smell like deviled eggs. This is exactly why, even as much as I hate waking up early, you gotta wake up just a tad bit earlier to get your hygiene right. Like, you don't have to walk into your bathroom and play dress to impress or anything, but at least have the decency to apply the basic stuff like lotion, deodorant, brushing your teeth, and all that good stuff. The last thing you want to do is go to school musty. You don't want to smell like a pack of sardines, especially because you're about to be outside waiting for that bus, knowing damn well someone's about to smell musty and you don't want to get blamed for it. Which brings me to the next stage of the morning cycle, waiting for the bus. Depending on where you live, this might be a little different for everybody, but usually where I live in the morning time is pretty chilly. So you gotta stand at the bus stop, cold, in the rain sometimes, with half a Pop-Tart in your mouth. And if your bus driver was anything like mine, for some reason, he can never show up on time. It's either the guy was too late, too early, or one time, he just didn't show up at all. I just think there are fewer things worse than sitting outside the bus stop for 20 plus minutes just for your bus not to show up at all. I think the only thing that might be worse is leaving your house and seeing the bus already drive away. And then you have to do the pity run. Then you stop in your tracks because you know there's no point. That has to be like top 5 canon events of all time. But when you do make it on time to the bus and you get on the bus, the first thing you're hit with is this nasty wave of BO and old bus smell. I don't know if it was just me, but my bus smelled like the mixture of the morning air and Krabby Patty grease. And not only that, depending on your stop, you either got the good seats or the seats with holes in them and the cotton sticking out of it. Now, depending on the day of this bus ride, the whole ride to school can either be really silent or extremely loud for no reason. It's 7 a.m. in the morning, and there's that one guy who's just playing music loudly out of his speaker. For what reason? I have no idea. And it's always the most mid-song. Like, nobody wants to hear your dubstep, bro. And usually the kids that are sitting in the back of the bus are the most loud. I don't know how people have so much energy to yap at 7 o'clock in the morning. What could you possibly talk about? But I think by far the funniest type of person to see on the bus is the guy that's scrambling to get his homework done before they get to school. Like, you had 3 whole weeks to do that project and you're choosing now on the bus 30 minutes before school to do it.